Uy, buenas, soy Sigiloco Games, estamos aquí de nuevo en el... A ver, déjale hablar muchacho. Vamos para acá. Estamos en el Dragon Inquisition. Vamos a completar la historia que ya teníamos antes. Nos quedamos justamente librando a los magos de Disco Rojo, del Imperio de Winter. Y nos quedamos aquí en el refugio. Justamente estamos aquí. A ver, comentar qué nomás he realizado fuera de nuestras aventurillas. Simplemente me he puesto una mejor armadura. He creado esta armadura con unas brazales y unas grebas también un poco más potentes. Nada más. Simplemente he estado buscando y comprando materiales para hacerme esta armadura. Como pueden ver, ya tengo menos dinero que antes. Y bueno, nada más. También he realizado un poquillo de mejoras a nuestros personajes. Por ejemplo, a Dorian le puse ya esta armadura de grifo. Le puse también, si no me recuerdo mal, un nuevo bastón. A Blanco le puse este de aquí. Y la hacha prismática. ¿Qué más? Aquí más. Espera. A Vivian le puse... No, a Vivian no le puse nada. A Solas le puse mi armadura, la que ya tenía puesta antes. La Barry está con la misma. Todo está con la misma. Y obviamente aquí estoy yo. Bueno. Como ya tenemos más personajes aquí en nuestro campamento, nuestro refugio, tal vez se nos desbloquee algunas...
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin. And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement. The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
Hola, con Josephine.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who is she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corbin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We are becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
Mage circles started falling years ago. The Chantry was troubled even before the Divine's murder.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andrasti's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
So if everyone listens to the chant, things will be smooth as silk.
I did say commonality is merely a beginning, but it's an important one. We must learn to think beyond our own wants, to secure peace in Thedas.
How did someone so lovely and selfless go into Orlesian politics, Lady Montelier?
Well, that is, really, you give me too much credit. While you're here, I do have a question. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra, Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
I'd tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
Aquí no tengo nada, ¿verdad?
If you find anything, please bring it in. Greetings.
¿Hay algo?
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Muy bien.
Heaven has been filled
A ver,
with
vamos a buscar a
silence.
Fiona.
I knew them, and crossed
Aquí está
my
Fiona.
heart with shame. Magic
Vamos a ver si es
exists
que
for man and never
dice algo. Sí.
If Fiona and her malcontents are joining us as allies, we need to be prepared. Abominations are inevitable. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
We can handle the mages, there's no need for Templars.
Have any of these men faced an abomination before, my dear? Have you? The veil is broken, and the raw power of the Fade rushes out like floodwaters through a shattered levee. You know as well as I do that mages attract demons where the veil is thin. And if demons can walk our world with no blood magic to summon them, how safe do you think our allies are? There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
You have a low opinion of your fellow mages.
It's not so much an opinion as grasping the obvious. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
You're just spouting chantry propaganda, Vivian.
My dear, what a world you must live in. Do you know how young mages are found? A little girl has a nightmare, and in her sleep, she burns her house down. A teenage boy has a fit, and lightning rips his mother to pieces. You know how these stories go. Perhaps you lived one. People don't learn the fear of magic at chantry services, my dear. They learn it from us. Tell me something. As you will no doubt have a hand in shaping it, what future do you see for mages?
Mages should be treated like anybody else.
How free did you feel living on the run, never straying too close to villages or staying in one place too long? Paint the cage any color you like. It is still a cage. It's something to consider, my dear.
Bueno, aquí, obviamente, bien. Prefiero tener a los magos encerrados en celdas, así que no hay mucho con qué discutir con esta muchacha en realidad. Siempre estaremos en desacuerdo si somos magos.
What is it?
How can you possibly oppose freedom for your own people?
Perhaps the Dalish are too isolated to grasp the realities of this world. All mages live lives of limited possibilities. We are denied fairness due to an accident of birth. But no one said that life was fair. The world is not made up of mages and Templars or circles and chantries. There is no us and no them. There are only people. People who must share a world which is not portioned equally among all. My own people want a larger share of the world, uncaring that they have already been granted great power.
That's not their fault. They can't help what they are.
Wolves cannot live peacefully among sheep, no matter how much they regret being wolves. The wolves howl and claw at the fences that hold them back. Take pity and you let them loose among the lambs. And what do the sheep do? Panic, and the scent of their fear drives the wolves to attack.
It'll take time, but people can learn not to fear magic.
One cannot unlearn a primal fear. Like fire or heights, it is not about prejudice. It is about survival. I care for the witch hunts that will come. I care for the angry mobs who string up mages on gibbets for the vultures. I care that my stupid brethren will kill and be killed by frightened people defending their families from monsters. I will stand in opposition to that, whatever you may do. Can I assist you?
Muy bien. Aquí bien está más loca que una cabra.
May God be with you.
Aquí la Liana, trepada en
Your
cosas.
open support for the mages likely earned you enemies. Our agents will monitor the situation. If the most opposed can be identified, we may still turn this to our advantage.
You're not planning assassinations, are you?
I was planning to unleash Josephine on them. She kills with kindness. Regardless, I applaud you for the courage to stand up for the mages.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
You were condemned to a lightless dungeon. Not much of a life to sacrifice.
And I would do it again.
Anything I should know?
Altegan has returned to Redcliffe Castle and resumed his duties as Lord. The people are returning, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our show of support for the mages has angered many.
Otra.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
Muy bien. Nada que comentar por aquí. Extraño.
Nice work with those supplies. The smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
A ver, aquí este muchacho no dice nada más. A ver, acá tenemos a Barrick.
When there was no sky maker, you were the sky.
The Mage Rebellion joins the Inquisition. I've got to admit that's a twist I didn't see coming. One thing you saw in the future worries me. I mean, it was all bad. But Red Lyrium and Ferelden, infecting people and growing out of them, that's bad. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my Red Lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
How long does it take for Red Lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
I'd like to keep hoping it's a coincidence, if you don't mind. I need to be able to sleep at night.
Honestly, I think I'll give up sleeping for the foreseeable future. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
I was planning to put my feet up, maybe grab a nap. You?
Whatever I do, it'll be as far from Cassandra as I can get. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know.
A ver, otra vez hablamos con Barrick.
Need something?
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
Ven, aquí nada.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Otra vez.
Need something?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Pues nada
Thanks,
más.
Varric.
No problem.
A ver, acá estaba Cera. Y por acá también está Solas. Vamos a ver. A ver, Cera.
Well, that's mages all over. So many robes, I bet all of Ferelden lost their curtains. I'll just be the other side of Haven, just in case.
You expected something else? We needed this.
We needed? No, pretty sure that question was never passed my way. I mean, yay, freedom. Great for them. Over there, away from me.
Wait.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
Aquí la buena muchacha está cantando a pulmón como abierto. A ver, aquí tenemos a Doria y a Solas. Vamos a abordar.
So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel? Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
I've been to the Fade before. I'd know it.
Point taken. What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witnessed.
I'm surprised you're not more interested in your own future.
I know enough. If that future happened, then I, and Cassandra, Cullen and the rest, failed to stop this Elder One. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Redcliffe. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront. Greetings.
We'll
Pues
talk
nada más.
later.
Goodbye.
Y nada más. Vamos a volver aquí otra vez. Al contrario.
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Hallamsharal? Cows milking farmers?
Give me time. I'm sure I'll surprise you.
I suspect that's untrue. Unless you strip yourself naked and allow the Chantry to flog you into repentance. Now that would surprise me. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given Southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
So what? They all turn into blood mages, worship dragons, and then take over?
Not at first. But you'd be a fool not to see where this could lead. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
Háblame del Imperio.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
Really?
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
Well, we don't have slaves in the south.
In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
Really?
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later, lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so.
Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce the Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true Divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Alrighty.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Divinity, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
Some more than others.
Some people have superior taste. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems... So much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply. About everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
Not yet, no. I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
Muy bien. Tenemos bastante ya conversado con Dorian. Eso es así. Las conversaciones con los muchachos es bastante largas. Y dice que un muchacho está aquí encerrado, entonces sí es cierto. Alexios, vamos a ver. Supongo que estas son las celdas. Ahorita no podemos abrir nada de esto. Pero no está aquí. ¿Dónde está? No, pues no. Aquí no está. Bueno, ya hemos hablado con casi todos. Bueno, aquí lo único que habla bastante era Dorian porque es un nuevo personaje. Pero bueno, ya hablamos con Cera, con Solas, con Grabare. Solo nos faltan los muchachos que están por acá abajo, que serían... En la canal encuentro tampoco es de la encantadora Fiona. Supongo que debe estar por aquí. Ahí tenemos a Toro de Hierro. A Blackwell que está por acá. Vamos en orden, vamos primero con Blackwell. A ver qué nos cuenta este muchacho.
I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
If the history you pursue benefits the Wardens, then it was worth it.
You've proven yourself to be an honorable woman. Principled. I've great admiration for you, and I've never been more certain in my decision to join you.
There will be opportunities for us to do even more in the future.
Then I look forward to it.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I expected more. More men, better equipment. You may have Andraste's favor, but wars are won by men, soldiers.
Brute force is not always the answer. There are plenty of other paths to victory.
True enough. Still, it never hurts to be prepared. One thing I will say about your men. They're passionate, devoted. You inspire them. Build on that foundation, and you will have an army that makes nations tremble.
Muy bien. Creo que con este no he hablado tampoco. A ver.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
I fear for Cassandra sometimes. The way she throws herself into battle. I've never known a warrior like her.
What do you think about all this trouble between the Mages and Templars?
Looking at it from where we stand, it seems inevitable. But that could be hindsight. How many of us actually saw it coming? Either way, I don't think the Chantry will ever recover.
Bueno, creo que ya
We
vamos a
should
hablar con
return
este.
to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Muy bien. A ver, aquí entra. Ah, pues sí. Alguien más tal vez. A ver, aquí tenemos a este muchacho. Vamos a encontrarlo.
So, that Tevinter guy sent you into the future?
I've got no problem with normal magic, but Tevinter goes beyond all reason.
I know, right? The Vints are always pushing. Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it.
Muy bien.
How's it going?
Ah, pues nada más.
See you later, Bull.
See ya.
Aquí tenemos a Colin.
The mages are ready to approach the breach. I pray this will be enough to close it.
You weren't happy with how I brought in the Mages. Do you have a problem with me as well?
Of course not. I have no intention of endangering your alliance, but I must ensure the safety of those here. That concern extends to the mages. They are putting themselves at risk for the Inquisition, as are you. Any precautions taken are meant to aid you, nothing more. I hope you will accept them as such.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
Muy bien.
That's all for now.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
Vamos a ver aquí con Cassandra. Vamos a verla. Esta muchacha está de acuerdo con nosotros.
And what are we supposed to do, exactly?
What you always do. Complain.
We've already spoken with Commander Cullen. No one listens. We want better quarters. We want the Templars kept at a distance. And some respect for...
This is not the Circle. You mages are our allies, not our wards. Act like it.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
You don't need to tell me that.
I just don't know who told them I'm the one to yell at.
Is it that bad?
The mages are here as equals. They need to get used to what that means. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
Well, I hope it works. What other choice do we have?
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
We wouldn't be here at all if you hadn't stood up against the Chantry.
You're being kind.
You're discounting your role in this.
Let's close the breach. Then we can say how successful I was.
Bien, creo que eso es todo ya de cháchara. O a ver si es que algo más por si acaso.
Do you need something?
No. Creo a ver si es...
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
A ver qué le pasa a Tremendo.
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
Uy.
Another time, then.
Otro de hielo.
Good day to you.
Creo que ya es todo. Vamos a la sala de consejo. Es lo único que nos queda por hacer.
May God be with you. Serve man and never to rule over him. Foul and corrupt are they who have taken...
Researcher
No, que no le encuentras a Fiona. Creo que no está aquí. Igual. Tema de Giselle. Uy. A ver, tenemos un informe por aquí. Muy bien. Tengo una petición de Hasmal. Aquí, vamos a ver a quién me enviamos. Vamos a enviar a Colin.
All right.
Vamos a ver por acá. Tenemos a Universidad de Ley y el juego del agua celestina. Podemos enviar a Josephine.
At your service.
Y aquí tenemos Universidad de Orley, que es aquí igual que ello. Sí, tenemos que esperar a que venga Josephine. Muy bien. Tenemos aquí en Faraday el corazón, el corazón arde. Vamos a ver.
The best of the mages are ready, Herald. Be certain you are prepared for the assault on the breach. You cannot know how you will be affected.
Bueno, aquí obviamente tenemos que perseguir a nuestros personajes, vamos a perseguir aquí a Cassandra, obviamente vamos a llevar aquí a solas. Y no sé si llevar a Barry o a Hacer. Vamos a llevar a Hacer. Ya con Barry fuimos todo el Dragon Age 2. Es el tiempo de otros personajes.
Mages!
Focus past the Herald. Let her will draw from you.
did it. Solus confirms the heavens are scarred but calm. The breach is sealed. We've reports of lingering rifts, and many questions remain. But this was a victory. Word of your heroism has spread.
You know how many were involved. Luck put me at the center.
A strange kind of luck. I'm not sure if we need more or less. But you're right. This was a victory of Alliance. One of the few in recent memory. With the breach closed, that alliance will need new focus.
Forces approaching! To arms!
What the... We must get to the gates!
¿Pero qué está pasando, muchachos?
This bodes poorly.
We have to put up barricades or something.
Muy bien, vámonos. La flor innata del refugio.
This isn't good, and it was never good.
¿Cuándo es tu enemigo?
Always something. You're important. Go protect us.
Cullen?
One watchguard reporting. It's a massive force, the bulk over the mountain.
Under what banner?
None.
None?
I can't come in unless you open. I'm Cole. I came to warn you, to help. People are coming to hurt you. You probably already know.
What is this? What's going on?
The Templars come to kill you.
Templars? Is this the Order's response to our talks with the mages, attacking blindly?
The Red Templars went to the Elder One. You know him? He knows you. You took his mages. There.
I know that man. But this Elder One...
He's very angry that you took his mages.
Cullen, give me a plan. Anything.
Haven is no fortress. If we are to withstand this monster, we must control the battle. Get out there and hit that force. Use everything you can.
Mages! You have sanction to engage them. That is Samson. He will not make it easy. Inquisition! With the Herald! For your lives! For all of us!
Mira, aquí tenemos que resistir, básicamente, el ataque de estos muchachos. Cuidado. Está aquí. Muy bien. Vamos a recoger todo esto.
Almost ready. Keep them off us.
Aquí yo voy cogiendo cosas. Siempre me olvido que ya no tengo el... Ahí.
Here we go.
Uf. No contra mí.
Keep them back! We're ready to fire! Scented and clear! Firing! They felt that. We'll reload. You get to the other trebuchet. It isn't firing.
This way. We must get this trebuchet firing.
Bien. Bueno, no tenemos casi nada. No hemos perdido casi nada acá directamente. A ver. Coge este muchacho.
More incoming. Keep them off the trebuchet.
We can't face it here. We have to do something. Everyone to the gates.
Muévete, muévete. Cogemos esto. Vamos a... Listo. Vámonos aquí.
Just grabbing essentials. Won't die for the forge.
Vamos aquí. Subimos aquí. Bastante se queda la bruja. ¿Ni más que salva por aquí? Pues creo que no. Uy, ese muchacho está allí. Que vuela.
Move it! Move it!
Lead everyone back to the Chantry. It's the only building that might hold against that beast. At this point, just make them work for it.
People need to move. Round them up.
A ver, acá. Aquí más.
I hear a survivor.
Where is everyone?
Sí, acá.
Where is everyone? Help! About time. Let me out of here.
Vamos para acá. Concha, venir estos manos aquí.
Another dead!
¿Dónde está?
I hear a survivor.
Harold! What's happening? Maker, thank you. Thank you.
Watch out! The flames will...
Another
Demonios.
death, I fear.
No le vi al muchacho.
I hear a survivor.
Vámonos.
Move! Keep going! The chantry is your shelter!
He tried to stop a Templar. The blade went deep. He's going to die.
What a charming boy.
Harold, our position is not good. That dragon stole back any time you might have earned us.
I've seen an archdemon. I was in the Fade, but it looked like that.
I don't care what it looks like. It's got a path for that army. They'll kill everyone in Haven.
The Elder One doesn't care about the village. He only wants the Herald.
If you know why he wants me, just say it.
I don't. He's too loud. It hurts to hear him. He wants to kill you. No one else matters, but he'll crush them, kill them anyway. I don't like him.
You don't like... Harold, there are no tactics to make this survivable. The only thing that slowed them was the avalanche. We could turn the remaining trebuchets, cause one last slide.
We're overrun. To hit the enemy, we'd bury Haven.
We're dying, but we can decide how. Many don't get that choice.
Yes, that. Chancellor Roderick can help. He wants to say it before he dies.
There is a path. You wouldn't know it unless you'd made the summer pilgrimage, as I have. The people can escape. She must have shown me. Or Andraste must have shown me so I could tell you.
What are you on about, Roderick?
It was whim that I walked the path. I did not mean to start. It was overgrown. Now, with so many in the Conclave dead, to be the only one who remembers... I don't know, Harold. If this simple memory can save us, this could be more than mere accident. You could be more.
What about it, Cullen? Will it work?
Possibly, if he shows us the path. But what of your escape? Perhaps you will surprise it. Find a way. Inquisition, follow Chancellor Roderick through the Chantry. Move!
Harold, if you are meant for this, if the Inquisition is meant for this, I pray for you.
They'll load the trebuchets. Keep the Elder One's attention until we're above the tree line. If we are to have a chance, if you are to have a chance, let that thing hear you.
I understand the strategy, but I usually avoid drawing this much attention.
Ok. Aquí.
I suggest we aim this machine as quickly as possible.
Reinforcements!
Be ready. More coming out.
Watch them!
Sí, sí, cuidado con eso. Bueno, tengo... Vamos ahí. Veamos esta cosa. Esta cosa nos va a servir para hacer más daño a los enemigos de estos. Estoy casi seguro de eso. Listo. Me queda solo esto. Tómame una de estas ya. Vamos a venir por aquí. Vamos a ir dando la vuelta a esto.
Move! Now!
Pero mira tú quién es. Este muchacho lo conocimos en el 2.
Enough! Pretender, you toy with forces beyond your ken, no more.
Whatever you are, I'm not afraid.
Words mortals often hurl at the darkness. Once they were mine, they are always lies. Know me. Know what you have pretended to be. Exalt the Elder One. The will that is Corifeus. You will kneel.
You'll get nothing out of me!
You will resist. You will always resist. It matters not. I am here to anchor. The process of removing it begins now. It is your fault, Herald. You interrupted a ritual years in the planning, and instead of dying, you stole its purpose. I do not know how you survived, but what marks you as touched, what you flail at rifts, I crafted to assault the very heavens. And you used the anchor to undo my work. The gall.
What is this thing meant to do?
It is meant to bring certainty where there is none. For you, the certainty that I would always come for it. I once breached the Fade in the name of another to serve the old gods of the Empire in person. I found only chaos and corruption, dead whispers. For 1,000 years I was confused, no more. I have gathered the will to return under no name but my own, to champion withered Tevinter and correct this blighted world. Beg that I succeed, for I have seen the throne of the gods, and it was empty. The anchor is permanent. You have spoilt it with your stumbling. So be it. I will begin again. Find another way to give this world the nation and God it requires. And you, I will not suffer even an unknowing rival. You must die.
You expect me to fight, but that's not why I kept you talking. Enjoy your victory. Here's your prize!
Sí, tenemos al malvado de todos los malvados. Es nada menos que Corifeus, Un personaje que ya conocimos en el Dragon Age 2. Uy. Tenemos aquí, estamos de nuevo. Aquí no hay nada, simplemente tenemos que avanzar. Y tratar de salir de aquí.
There. Who's there?
Tienes una nueva habilidad que es la marca de la grieta. ¿Qué vamos a hacer ahorita? Que es básicamente un poder que se nos da. Pero aquí vamos a poner esto aquí. Y vamos a hacer algo. A ver, no. Vamos acá. Vamos aquí a mis habilidades. Ah, cierto, esto también. Vamos a poner esto aquí. Gracias. Esto también es algo que he hecho. Me puse una habilidad de fuego. Componen, pero estoy lanzando solo fuego. Me cambié porque el bastón que tengo es de fuego, así que es más lógico que lance magias de fuego. Pues aquí solo tenemos que seguir estos jueguitos que hay por aquí. Listo. Solo hay que seguir avanzando.
Embers. Recent?
Y ahí tenemos algo.
There! It's her!
Thank the Maker!
would you have me tell them? This isn't what we asked them to do.
We cannot simply ignore this. We must find a way.
And who put you in charge? We need a consensus or we have nothing.
Please, we must use reason. Without the infrastructure of the Inquisition, we're hobbled.
I can't come from nowhere.
She didn't say it could.
Enough! This is getting us nowhere.
Well, we're agreed on that much.
Shh. You need rest. They've been at it for hours. They have that luxury thanks to you. The enemy could not follow, and with time to doubt, we turn to blame. Infighting may threaten as much as this Corifeus. Do we know where Corifeus and his forces are? We are not sure where we are. Which may be why, despite the numbers he still commands, there is no sign of him. That, or you are believed dead. Or without Haven, we are thought helpless. Or he girds for another attack. I cannot claim to know the mind of that creature, only his effect on us. If they're arguing about what we do next, I need to be there. Another heated voice won't help. Even yours, perhaps especially yours. Our leaders struggle because of what we survivors witnessed. We saw our defender stand and fall. And now we have seen her return. The more the enemy is beyond us, the more miraculous your actions appear, and the more our trials seem ordained. That is hard to accept, no? What we have been called to endure, what we perhaps must come to believe. I escaped the avalanche. Barely, perhaps, but I didn't die. Of course, and the dead cannot return from across the veil. But the people know what they saw. Or perhaps what they needed to see. The Maker works both in the moment and in how it is remembered. Can we truly know the heavens are not with us? You saw Corifeus. What do you think of his claims of assaulting the heavens? Scripture says magisters, divinter servants of false-old gods, entered the Fade to reach the Golden City, seat of the Maker. For their crime, they were cast out as darkspawn. Their hubris is why we suffer blight, and why the Maker turned from us. If such is the claim of this Corifeus, he is a monster beyond imagining. All mankind continues to suffer for that sin. If even a shred of it is true, all the more reason Andraste would choose someone to rise against him. Corifeus said he found only corruption and emptiness, nothing golden. If he entered that place, it has changed him without and within. The living are not meant to make that journey. Perhaps these are lies he must tell himself, rather than accept that he earned the scorn of the Maker. I know I could not bear such. Whatever the rest of you say, I felt no divine aid at the Conclave or Haven. The struggle ahead seems mine alone. Shadows fall and hope has fled. Still your heart, the dawn will come. The night is long and the path is dark. Look to the sky, for one day soon the dawn will come. The shepherd's lost, and his home is far. Keep to the stars, the
Aquí es cuando el juego se convierte en un musical. Solas, amigo mío.
Faith may have yet to find you, but it has already found them.
A word. The humans have not raised one of our people so high for ages beyond counting. Her faith is hard-won, Lethaline, worthy of pride, save one detail. The threat Corifeus wields. The orb he carried. It is ours. Corifeus used the orb to open the breach. Unlocking it must have caused the explosion that destroyed the Conclave. We must find out how he survived. And we must prepare for their reaction when they learn the orb is of our people.
All right. What is it and how do you know about it?
Such things were foci, said to channel power from our gods. Some were dedicated to specific members of our pantheon. All that remains are references in ruins, and faint visions of memory in the fade, echoes of a dead empire. But however Corifeus came to it, the orb is elven, and with it, he threatens the heart of human faith.
Didn't you see? The people trust me implicitly.
Faith tends to make martyrs of its champions. Whatever the case, that trust cannot grow in the wilderness. You will need every advantage. By attacking the Inquisition, Corifeus has changed it. Changed you. Scout to the north. Be their guide. There is a place that waits for a force to hold it. There is a place where the Inquisition can build, grow.
Y bueno, aquí es donde realmente empieza Dragon Age Inquisition, muchachos. Después de 12 horas de juego.
They
Pero aquí
arrive
comienza todo.
daily from every settlement in the region. Skyhold is becoming a pilgrimage. If word has reached these people, it will have reached the Elder One. We have the walls and numbers to put up a fight here, but this threat is far beyond the war we anticipated. But we now know what allowed you to stand against Corifeus, what drew him to you.
He came for this, and now it's useless to him, so he wants me dead. That's it.
The anchor has power, but it's not why you're still standing here. Your decisions let us heal the sky. Your determination brought us out of Haven. You are the creature's rival because of what you did. And we know it. All of us. The Inquisition requires a leader. The one who has already been leading it. You.
Perhaps I didn't hear you correctly. A mage at the head of the Inquisition.
Not a mage. You.
I happen to be a mage.
I will not pretend no one will object, but times are changing. Perhaps this is what the Maker intended. There would be no Inquisition without you. How it will serve, how you lead, that must be yours to decide.
I will lead us against Corifeus, and I will be an ambassador. I'm an elf standing for Thedas. The Inquisition is for all.
Wherever you lead us. Have our people been told?
They have. And soon, the world.
Commander, will they follow?
Inquisition, will you follow? Will you fight? Will we triumph? Your leader, your herald, your Inquisitor! So this is where it begins.
It began in the courtyard. This is where we turned that promise into action. But what do? We know nothing about this Corifeus except that he wanted your mark.
Corifeus wants to restore Tevinter. Is this a prelude to war with the Imperium?
I get the feeling we're dealing with extremists, not the vanguard of a true invasion.
Tevinter is not the Imperium of 1,000 years ago. What Corifeus yearns to restore no longer exists. Though they would shed no tears if the South fell to chaos, I'm certain.
Corifeus said he wanted to enter the Black City, that this would make him a god.
He is willing to tear this world apart to reach the next. It won't matter if he's wrong.
What if he's not wrong? If he finds some other way into the Fade?
Then he gains the power he seeks, or unleashes catastrophe on us all.
Could his dragon really be an archdemon? What would that mean?
It would mean the beginning of another blight. We've seen no darkspawn other than Corifeus himself. Perhaps it's not an archdemon at all, but something different?
Whatever it is, it's dangerous. Commanding such a creature gives Corifeus an advantage we can't ignore.
Someone out there must know something about Corifeus.
Unless they saw him on the field, most will not believe he even exists.
We do have one advantage. We know what Corifeus intends to do next. In that strange future you experienced, Empress Selene had been assassinated.
Imagine the chaos her death would cause. With his army.
An army he'll bolster with a massive force of demons, or so the future tells us.
Corifeus could conquer the entire south of Thedas, god or no god.
I'd feel better if we knew more about what we were dealing with.
I know someone who can help with that. Everyone acting all inspirational jogged my memory, so I sent a message to an old friend. He's crossed paths with Corifeus before and may know more about what he's doing. He can help.
I don't want you promising things on my behalf, Varric.
It's more like making good on promises I've already made. Point is, there's help waiting on the battlements. Trust me, it's complicated.
Well, then, we stand ready to move on both of these concerns.
On your order, Inquisitor.
I know one thing. If Varric has brought who I think he has, Cassandra is going to kill him.
This is the Inquisition.
Oui.
A dusty old ruin filled with battered soldiers.
If you shut your mouth and opened your eyes, you'd see that the Inquisition is our one hope.
Bueno, aquí tenemos un poco la cosa jodida. Pero lo que tenemos que hacer es tratar de encontrar al heredero primero. Muy bien, este es prácticamente nuestro castillo de la Inquisición. Aquí no podemos pasar todavía. Primero lo tienes que arreglar todo esto. Aquí tenemos obviamente aquí está Josephine. Y acá tenemos el consenso este. Y como puedes ver tenemos bastantes cosillas que hacer por aquí. Vamos por acá. Primero vamos a hacer... A ver, aquí no creo que podemos... Vamos a sacar la ruta. Aquí por fin tenemos el almacén. Antes no teníamos. Aquí tenemos teñir armadura. Tenemos la Haggai. Fabricar armadura. Personalizar. Preparar pociones. Equipar pociones. Vamos a ver qué consigo.
I've walked away from too many burning buildings for one lifetime. This place, though, it'll be all right. It's Inquisitor now, isn't it? That'll take some getting used to.
Everyone needs time for this transition.
Time won't help. Purpose does, and I got a load of it. Everyone just got a big, hard reason to hate Corifeus, and we already did, but we didn't have a name. You're the surprise, not him.
We left in a hurry, but you got into your old place. Save anything?
Family hammer. It's as stupid as it sounds. It's good to be back at work.
How is this place shaping up as a forge?
Better than Haven ever could be. Not the way I wanted an upgrade, but ever forward.
Have you any thoughts about the people we lost at Haven?
Shame about Adan. Experience like that, you can't just find. Flisser. So sad. Too young. The rest of us go on. It's what we have to do. You gave us the chance. Thanks for that.
You've got it all up and running?
Your basics, like always. There's space here for... I don't know what. This place was built for something big. It'll be a job to fill it.
I'll be back later.
I'll be here.
Muy bien. A ver, aquí están los envíos especiales. Y aquí tenemos esto aquí. Podemos cambiar todo lo que tenemos aquí en nuestro feudo, nuestro palacio. Aquí podemos mejorar las pociones. Y aquí tenemos bastantes estandartes. Tenemos camitas. Y tenemos que ir encontrando todo esto o comprando, dependiendo lo que queramos. Bien. Podemos tener la armadura. Que obviamente no tenemos nada. Aquí podemos comprar cositas, que es lo mismo que teníamos antes. Y bueno, podemos salir. Y bueno, ahora lo siguiente que vamos a hacer es ir para acá. Podemos aquí hablar con la muchacha de Josephine.
I've made some inquiries into the Imperial Court. The sooner we deal with the threats to the Empress, the better. The political situation in the Empire is dangerously unstable. It will complicate matters.
Everything in the Empire complicates matters. It's the Orlesian national pastime.
Turn your nose up at the grand game if you like, Commander, but we play for the higher stakes, and to the death.
The court's disapproval can be as great a threat as the Venatori. We must be vigilant to avert disaster.
Exactly what do you mean? How is it more dangerous than usual?
The Empress is in the middle of a civil war. Her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard, seeks to take her throne by force. Leliana reports that a group of elves has been sabotaging both armies, drawing out the hostilities. Orlais holds Tevinter at bay. All of Thedas could be lost if the Empire falls to Corifeus. Celine is holding peace talks under the auspices of a grand masquerade. Every power in Orlais will be there. It's the perfect place for an assassin to hide.
A grand masquerade? I need to go shopping.
I'll arrange for an invitation at your discretion, Inquisitor.
Muy bien. Aquí podemos seguir hablando con Josephine, pero de momento vamos a la sala de consejo. Y esta es nuestra nueva sala de consejo. Como ven, es bastante más grande. Y aquí un montón de cosas que hacer. Muy bien. Pero un montón de cosas.
Any word?
Nothing yet.
A ver, aquí tenemos lugares que hacer. Acá esto nos cuesta 20. ¿Cuánto tenemos? Ponemos 79. A ver, vamos a ver. Buscar de las velocidades de cero. Esto puede ser misión para Colin.
Inquisitor.
Vamos aquí a ver. Investigar el asalto del cazador. De misión para Liliana.
Inquisitor.
Y serpiente Navarra. A ver. Es para Liliana igual. Investigar el exceso oriental, cuesta 8. Muy bien. Uf, acá tenemos pero un montón. Esto no está disponible. Ah, esos son recursos y reclutar, eso.
Are you all right, Leliana?
Eso no. Reivindicar el volumen de
I
magos.
suppose not.
Esto puede ser.
Haven was trying.
Esto no. Conseguir dinero, ¿no? Un momento contenido de refugio. Vamos a ver si es que esto es para. Es para Colin. Una para Joseph, vamos a ver. La petición de Doyle. Para el igual. Precio del poder. Esta puede ser. Ah, no, este igual es para Colin. Sorry. Aquí no podemos. Hacerse con una arcana. Escrito al suelo. Esto es para Elian igual. Oh, no hay ninguna misión para Josephine. Esta es para Josephine. Dejé al clan la vela.
Inquisitor.
Y faltaría solo esto. Bueno, aquí tenemos varios lugares. Vamos primero a investigar la cuenca, que nos cuesta 8 de poder. Y esto nos cuesta 16. Y vamos a abrir todo lo que podamos. Vamos a investigar la cuenca. Ahorita aquí con conexiones. Tenemos nueva zona. Más tarde, de momento no. Vamos a hacer el cambio de profundidades. Vamos aquí. Muy bien. Más tarde. Vamos a investigar uno que costaba 8. ¿Dónde está? Estos dos cuestan 8. Tumbas de esmeralda. Los secretillos. Más tarde. Liberar en pez del león. Aquí. Muy bien. Esto cuesta 20 y esto cuesta 8. Y bueno, se nos va a acabar el poder. Necesitamos un nivel más de poder. Vamos a acabar primero con los venatorios. Muy bien. No. Bueno, puse viajar, bueno, no importa.
Any luck charting the area?
I did what I could, Your Worship. This space has nothing but space. If there's nothing valuable here, I say let Corifeus have it.
The desert is immeasurably more precious with you in it, Scout Harding.
When did you come up with that one?
I had some time along the way.
I did find something for you. Old dwarven ruins on the surface. Impossible, but there you go. The Red Templars are digging them out, with Venatori supervision.
Whatever they want, we must beat them to it.
I just saw Red Templars heading northwest to here. They might be a good start. I found this map on a dead one. Maybe it shows where they're headed. Good luck.
Bueno, tenemos que regresar al refugio. Muy bien. Todavía aquí no, muchachos. Vámonos para mapa del mundo. Vamos acá, feudo celestial. Muy bien. Vamos a ver si es que algo ha cambiado aquí. No, pues sí. Ya está un poquillo cambiado todo esto. Justamente lo que quería.
Shame.
I know. A way with words.
Quedan nuestros aposentos. ¿Cuánto de poder tenemos? Aquí no me aparece. Pero aquí tampoco. Bueno, la cosa es que creo que necesitamos un punto más, ¿verdad? Bueno, les voy a enseñar un poco de nuestro refugio. Aquí tenemos una pinturica. Acá tenemos otro.
There's no end of it. I can store an army.
Aquí están todos nuestros botellitas que vamos consiguiendo por el camino. Como pueden ver. Aquí está la cocina. Bien.
Our mounts have never had better.
Están los establos. Y aquí creo que estaba Blackwell. Ahí está el maestro Dennett. Aquí podemos comprar cositas. Nada que nos interese en el momento.
Lady Inquisitor, Bonnie Sims at your service. I trust good secret was not too close. Now that you've come to some good fortune, you deserve an upgrade. As master of the tradesman, I stand ready to supply your every need.
How are you doing? Good business?
Building? Always building, thanks to you.
Who or what are the tradesmen?
A following of sympathetic and profit-minded individuals who promote local craftsmen and fair importers. A guild of sorts. Although that implies counter-affiliations we are not interested in crossing. Our purpose in the Inquisition is legitimate and honorable. You will have what you need at honest prices.
What do you bring to the Inquisition?
What you need, and more. It takes great coordination to make a remote location seem central. While there is no doubt the boutiques of Valroyo display the grandest of the grand, they do not travel. At least, not yet.
Segrit survived Haven. Where is he?
About? Doing good work for you and yours? But this position is now more desirable. It was time arrangements were made. I shall make every effort to prove that this is an upgrade.
Why are you a mere merchant if you're the master of this group?
I wish to avoid the suggestion that I am a posturing commander atop a structure of malcontents. It is better to remain active, hands-on. Do you not agree, Inquisitor?
We'll speak another time.
Of course, Lady Inquisitor.
Muy bien, a ver qué tiene esta muchacha. Oh, tiene todas las runas, es muy bueno. Esta sí es muy buena. Sí. Y también tiene cositas por aquí.
I don't need you, sister.
You're carrying a heavy burden for one so young.
I'll carry it back to Crestwood and kill those bandits. That's what Father would have wanted.
Aquí tenemos que buscar a Colin. Aquí está Colin. Cirujana. Ok. Cole, ¿dónde estás?
This thing is not a stray puppy you can make into a pet. It has no business being here.
Wouldn't you say the same of an apostate?
Inquisitor, I wondered if Cole was perhaps a mage, given his unusual abilities.
He can cause people to forget him, or even fail entirely to notice him. These are not the abilities of a mage. It seems that Cole is a spirit.
It is a demon.
If you prefer, although the truth is somewhat more complex.
Cole warned us about Corifeus at Haven. He saved a lot of lives.
And what will its help cost? How many lives will this demon later claim?
In fact, his nature is not so easily defined.
Speak plainly, Solas. What are we dealing with?
Demons normally enter this world by possessing something. In their true form, they look bizarre, monstrous.
But you claim Cole looks like a young man. Is it possession?
No. He has possessed nothing and no one. And yet he appears human in all respects. Cole is unique, Inquisitor. More than that, he wishes to help. I suggest you allow him to do so.
In my studies, demons either possessed something from this world or were summoned and bound. They almost never look like something you'd mistake for a person.
Normally you'd be correct. But Cole has willfully manifested in human form without possessing anyone.
The demons who came through the breach, or through the rifts, weren't possessing anything.
These demons were drawn through against their will, driven mad by this world. But Cole predates the breach. From what we can tell, he has lived here for months, perhaps years. He looks like a young man. For all intents and purposes, he is a young man. It is remarkable.
I should hear what Cole has to say for himself. Where is he now?
If none of us remember him, he could be anywhere.
Haven. So many soldiers fought to protect the pilgrims so they could escape. Choking fear. Can't think from the medicine, but the cuts rack me with every heartbeat. Hot, white pain. Everything burns. I can't. I'm going to... I'm dying. I'm... dead.
Glad to see you're settling in, Cole. Here I was worried you'd have trouble making friends.
Every breath slower. Like lying in a warm bath. Sliding away. Smell of my daughter's hair when I kiss her goodnight. Gone. Cracked brown pain. Dry. Scraping. Thirsty. Here.
Thank you.
It's all right. She won't remember me.
Solus tried to explain what you are, but honestly, I stopped listening after a while. Any chance you could explain it?
Yes. I used to think I was a ghost. I didn't know. I made mistakes, but I made friends too. Then a Templar proved I wasn't real. I lost my friends. I lost everything. I learned how to be more like what I am. It made me different, but stronger. I can feel more. I can help.
If you're willing, the Inquisition could use your help.
Yes, helping. I help the hurt. The helpless. There's someone. Hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Someone make it stop hurting. Make her, please. The healers have done all they can. It will take him hours to die. Every moment will be agony. He wants mercy. Help.
You say he won't die for hours yet, but you can't know that for certain.
His body is failing.
He could recover, or the healers could find another way to help him.
How do you know?
I don't, and neither do you. That's part of life.
Try. I want to stay.
Muy bien. Y bueno, muchachos, eso va a ser todo por el día de hoy. Y en el siguiente video les mostraré todo lo que esconde este gran castillo. Quiero decir que es bastante extenso. Pero bueno, es parte del juego y es parte de una de las maravillas de este juego, en realidad. Este es un misterio total. Y como ven, tenemos en el mapa del mundo un montón de lugares que visitar. Aquí tenemos la Costa de la Tormenta. Y aquí está de los caminos. Tenemos estos dos de aquí que ya hemos hecho. Tenemos este de aquí, este de aquí, este de aquí y este de aquí. Hay zonas donde obviamente el nivel es muy alto, perdón. Y no podremos acabarlos entonces tenemos que esperar a subir un poco más de nivel para poder completar. Por el momento vamos a ir paso a paso, tranqui. Y bueno, espero que nos hemos divertido un poco. Y nos veremos ya en una siguiente vez. Nos vemos.